It's just gonna be conversational. Stanley, quit looking at him and look at me. I'm better looking.
I can't see through that dark cover he's put in front of
You
me.
gotta look at me all the time. You cannot look at them, no matter what they do. Look at me. Smile. You can smile. You're on kids.
It's hard.
I'm glad you wore your Rotary shirt. That's good. We can start with something real simple like Stanley. What Rotary Club are you a member of, and what year did you join Rotary?
I'm a member of the Rotary Club of Morehead City, and I joined the Rotary Club in 1967. And I believe that's the year I came to Morehead City for the work.
Wonderful. You joined the day before I turned 14. All right, that is excellent. How did you come to decide to join this Rotary Club?
I'm not 100% sure of the person who asked me, but it was one of the older members who simply asked me to join. I knew of Rotary, and I was honored to have been asked to join Rotary. And my work was in a savings and loan, and this added to the opportunities available to meet new people and to get in fellowship with quality people. Yeah.
Excellent. You've stuck with it for a long time. Why is it that you've committed so many years to Rotary? Why is it that you joined and you've never left it?
Well, there's been oftentimes the discussion is in my mind as to whether I should continue for various reasons, but it's just always been a positive in my life, and it gave great opportunities for continual weekly fellowship with people that you oftentimes were associated with in work as well as church and in just day-to-day activities. And also, it's always good to eat, and it's always good to participate in projects that would meet the needs that we saw within our capacity to do so of the community of Carteret County. It was the opportunity to do that. Yeah.
Is there a project that stands out for you as being one that really touched you? You're really proud of being part of that project?
Honestly, one it doesn't stand out that much from the other. Among those that come to mind is the orthopedic surgeon that used to come from Duke and to administer needs to people that had those needs in our community. We sponsored his trip. Another, of course, is Polio Plus, which I have known people in my life who were victims of polio, who were never able to walk with straight legs, and I remembered how important that was, and as a child, I remember the urgent need to take vaccinations for that and so on, and to promote the goal of eradication of polio in the world. The Rotary Club participated in that. And there are also just local community things that stand out and still stand out, like the homeless, Habitat for Humanity, hunger issues, those kinds of things that are ongoing in our community. We, of course, have had the opportunity through some of our members who are people who knew how to fix teeth and to minister to people in the community through the agencies that provide that services. I think Broad Creek Clinic may be one, I don't know. And some of our members have actually gone to Ocracoke and other places that were people who were experts in teeth care and have provided services to people who don't have that service locally, or at least at that time, Ocracoke and places like that. You know, that's just many of them. There are ongoing things like, for example, we have a record of issuing scholarships to West Carteret students and Carteret Community College students, people giving them the opportunity to broaden their education and understanding. We've had speech contests we sponsored and gave little awards for outstanding speakers and so Those are the kinds of things that are ongoing. Even today, our programs, the ones that really always inspire me is to have someone in the community that is involved in a human need type thing that we may or may not be aware of. One example that kind of triggers my memory is one that was not too long ago, where they're trying to introduce into the community of sea level by use of the old hospital that was there. The Taylor brothers built that hospital that are famous for how they grew up in sea level. And at that time, the only way they could get to Beaufort was by sailboat, and they became multimillionaires because of their creativity and all. And even today, if you go to the hospital today and you see the plaques on the wall where contributions were made to the expansion of the $53 million that was added to the hospital, and they're adding a cancer center now, which is under construction. Well, if you look at those plaques, the Taylor Foundation will be there. And that was a program that was introduced to us recently, not too long ago, that is undergoing right now to renovate that hospital, expand it, and to make it into a drug renovation. A person who has problems with that, it's not a quick cure, it's a long time cure to make a permanent change in their lives. And they're under the process right now of rebuilding that and making that available, because our county, unfortunately, you wouldn't think so, but we're probably number one or near the number one in our state for victims of drug abuse and so on. And that may be because of people who end up here that may have been here on vacation or getting away from something, and they end up being paralyzed by being victims of addiction and so on, all kinds of addiction. Yeah.
You have experience with people who were part of the early founding of Rotary here in the county.
Mm-hmm.
It's 1925. None of those people
Yeah.
are still with us, but you did interact with those people. So when you first joined, who were the giants of Rotary?
Now you're triggering my memory.
Yes, I am.
Well, let me see if I can recall some of them. Jocelyn, H.L. Jocelyn, Darden Year we have now, who is a dentist. He's retired. His father was very active then. Used to love to lead singing. There were people whose name came a little after that. I'm not sure how early they were in the process, like Herb Phillips, who by the way worked with a person who was one of the original ones in that office, Judge Luther Hamilton. I don't know if most people know the Judge Luther Hamilton or the junior that came along, but Judge Luther Hamilton was phenomenal in his intelligence and his history of being involved in several projects that started in our county. He was a creative and a knowledgeable person, and Herb Phillips, who used to work with him, died in recent years, and he was a judge also. He lived in Morehead City, but had a second home at August Island, and I remember one time he had two daughters and a son and so on, and they invited me to go down there, and I got on the skis the first time in my life and the last time in my life, and when the boat went out, I was on the skis and everything was fine until he turned the corner. And those bumps, I just turned everything loose, but I remember that. I remember Herb Phillips. He used to do title work for me. I was with Savings and Loan, which later became a bank, and he did a lot of the title work out of the Luther Hamilton office, in which he was a partner with that. Yeah.
One thing I think you talked about was we're gonna have to hold on. Just don't worry about it. We're just gonna have to.
Yeah.
I'm already, I don't want to butt shoot anymore. There was a miscommunication between us and the church about this day and whether we could use this room or not. So they have little Bible school children, and they're doing a great job of keeping them quiet for us. And that's why I asked you to come early. Thank you.
Right.
Back in the days when you had first joined, I understand you had something to do with port service projects.
Harvey Hamilton Sr. used to be superintendent of the school systems in Carteret County. And for some reason, he came to me and he said, we need to buy a large, double-wide mobile home that would be a welcome center for people coming in on the ships on the state port. And we have permission to actually locate that. And he said, would you help me to be a fundraiser to raise the money needed? And it was, I think the amount was somewhere like $150,000 at that time. That was many years ago. And he said, we already have 100,000 of that. That was, the labor union gave us that. And so we need to raise 50. And so I'd never done anything like this before. So I went to the board and I said to them, what I would suggest that we do is before we ask anyone for money, let's do what we can individually first. And sure enough, we raised that money in short order, and it continues to be a very active and promotional thing for welcoming people in connection with the ships that come in from different parts of the world. It's a place they can relax, watch TV, read literature, and the director that's there now, he's asked us to, as citizens, to bring literature that would be acceptable. It doesn't have to be religious oriented, but something that would be reading material and so on. Anything that would help them to enjoy their stay and to feel welcomed. And that center also has a van that they take people out to shop in different places like Walmart and so on, and bring them back. And that's an ongoing ministry. So, and I know of several people in the community that serve as board members who volunteer and man the center and help the people then to have their needs addressed. Yeah, that's just one minute.
If you want to say one thing to the people who are going to be watching this in the future, one thing that to you is the message of Rotary that you'd like to share, what would that be?
Rotary, in addition to being a fellowship thing, which is high on the list as far as I'm concerned, the opportunity to fellowship and maintain friendships with people across the category of professional people teaching, people, doctors, whatever, workers, whatever. That's one thing. The other thing is it gives you the opportunity to be aware through the programs and so on of the needs in the community. And it also provides opportunities that we can have projects to raise money, such as the Balsam Range music thing has been very successful the last few years. Many people don't know about the Balsam Range, but they're known nationwide, mountain singers, and they're first class. And that's a fundraiser we have to contribute to research to try to address how to rid or at least improve the work to cut down on the damages of Alzheimer's and that related disease. And that is a very precious thing for us, and it seems like that each year we don't lose the momentum. People seem to enjoy them so much. They have records available and so on. So opportunities to participate in raising money for those purposes and to highlight those goals that are so important for our community and the great needs in our community. Little things like Lake Waccamaw Boys and Girls Home, that's one of the things that over the years we have participated in and helped to support them and their needs, to have kids that can be brought there to salvage their lives, improve their lives. It may have come from negative circumstances, and that's just one of dozens of opportunities that we've been able to address with and having the kind of people in Rotary from different professions. It gives a variety of opportunities for people to contribute ideas, the ways that we can do that better than just anybody that's not a part of this ongoing fellowship. I don't know if I answered your question, but that's best I can do. Right? Yeah.
Is there anything I didn't ask you about
probably 1,000 things.
Is there something you'd like to share that I didn't ask you about?
Well, I'm not sure how to address that. I know that in the human environment that we live, we're living among people like ourselves who are far from perfect. There are needs we don't meet. There are needs that we could probably do a better job of meeting. We can probably be more open to and be aware of what's going on around us. It may be hurricane damage, which may be more temporary and trying to help people who've lost their homes or damaged homes. It may be an outbreak of some kind of hopefully temporary COVID type thing. It may be dozens of other things that are crucial at a particular time in history. Making us aware of it and having the people that has the ideas and the resources that may be able to find ways of addressing those things in a positive way and things like that. Yeah. So it's an opportunity for service. That's what Rotary is all about. Is service. And we have the Rotary test, you know, we try to recite that at every meetings before we leave, and we ask basically 4 standards. Is it the truth? Is it fair to everybody concerned? Would it promote goodwill and fellowship? Is it beneficial to everybody concerned? Those are questions we ask ourselves as we address the issues of service. That's what we're all about.
Thank you, Stanley. That was wonderful.
Yeah.
It came to my head that with all the people reciting the 4-way test, we can have different people saying the different parts of it.
Yeah.
Hang on one